Hello again, my DIY loving friends. I'm Sarah, and this is Medicated Housewife DIY, where crafting and mental health come together. Do you hate the look of plastic spoons as much as I do? Well, you're in luck, because in today's DIY video, we are transforming some ugly Dollar Tree plastic spoons into high-end home decor pieces that are ready to impress. So what are you waiting for? Let's go DIY together. For this DIY, I'm going to be using this Tim Holtz alcohol ink in the colors Latte and Teakwood. I'm showing you Latte and Espresso, but I really used the Teakwood color and not the Espresso. I will link those for you in the description box below. I grabbed this white plastic jar cap that I had in my stash of mason jars, and I'm using 21 of these ugly white plastic spoons I got at Dollar Tree. To use alcohol inks, we need some 91% alcohol, which I will link for you below, and a couple of cheap makeup brushes. I'll link the set that I'm using below, and I'm soaking the brushes in the alcohol so that they are ready for the ink. I like to explain using alcohol inks like using watercolor paints, but the alcohol is like the water that you use for the watercolors to dilute and blend the inks. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It's easy, trust me. So I soften the brushes with the alcohol, dry them a bit on a dry paper towel. Then I'm starting with the latte color to get a base coat on all of the spoons, and I place some drops on the larger brush. I begin painting the ink onto the spoon, and we're going to apply the ink in layers to get the effect that we want. But it all starts with a nice base coat of the latte color all over the spoon, front and back. Now on 7 of these spoons, I am going to need the entire spoon with the handle included, painted with that alcohol ink. And then the remaining 14 spoons, we really only need the rounded spoon part painted, not the handle. I also apply some drops of ink directly onto the spoon to start layering the color, and I use my brush to move the color around the spoon. And as we add layer on top of a layer, we start to get this kind of blended faux wood effect, which I love doing with these inks. They make any porous surface easy to apply a faux wood grain look. I use the same latte base color ink on the plastic jar lid as well, painting both the inside and the outside of the lid with the ink. And if I didn't mention it before, I should mention that you always want to wear gloves while using these alcohol inks, because they are ink and they will stain your hands or anything else they come in contact with. So wear gloves. Next, I grab the Teakwood color ink and I apply that over the latte, and you can already see that the brush strokes of the darker ink start to give the spoon some wood grainy kind of effect. I'm telling you guys, these inks do the job for you. They are so fun to work with, and the color and results are totally buildable. It's practically foolproof, and truly there are no mistakes. That's one of the things that I love so much about using these inks. The results are always amazing, and more often than not, the end result is better than I had hoped for. So that is always a win. And as you can see, I made more than the 7 spoons that are fully painted with the handles, because I like to have extras of everything. But basically, I needed 7 fully painted spoons and 14 spoons with just the top rounded part painted. Then I added that teakwood color on my plastic lid the same way that I did with the spoons, so that the wood tone was relatively uniform on all of my pieces. Once that ink is dry, and this stuff dries super fast, I grabbed my favorite clippers, I'll link them for you below, and I trim the rounded spoon part of 14 of my spoons off and discard those handles. And I use a small brush to apply a tiny bit of ink to the cut edges of the spoon tops so that white plastic that's underneath can't be seen. Using a hot glue gun, I'm going to attach the 7 full-length painted spoons standing upright and attached on the front of the spoon to the lip of the plastic jar lid, as you see me doing right here. I used enough glue to make those full-length spoons strong enough to stand up on their own, and I'm also doing my best to make sure that they are all evenly attached to the jar lid all the way around. Then I start adding my cut spoon tops to the spaces between those full spoons in an effort to hide that kind of unsightly jar lid and camouflage it. I go all the way around the lid, placing a spoon between each of the existing spoons for the first row of cut spoons. I add a second row of cut spoons covering the full-size spoon bottoms so that almost none of that ugly lid is exposed, going all the way around the entire piece for this last final row. Next, I had some of this leather suede-ish type rope in my stash. I'm pretty sure you can find similar string at Dollar Tree, but I'll link something comparable for you below. I didn't like the way the space between the spoons and the jar looked, so I decided to wrap that space with some of this leather to make it more finished. I used some hot glue to secure the leather in place, and I wrapped it around the entire piece 4 times, as you can see me doing right here. Then I had some faux leather cord in a lighter brown color, and I will link that for you below, but you can substitute cord from the craft section of Dollar Tree for this too. I wrap that thinner, lighter cord around 2 times. That's once above the leather and once below the leather to really give a finished look, and I secure it in place with some more hot glue. And this is my faux wood look plastic spoon candle holder, and I think this is really unique looking. The alcohol ink wood grain really gives this an upscale look. It looks more like a tortoiseshell effect than wood, maybe. I'm using a battery operated tea light, not a flame, but the bottom line is we used 21 ugly white plastic spoons to make this lovely little candle holder. Perfect outside on a patio, easy, super cheap, and frankly fun to make. For this DIY, I have one of these small plastic bowls that come in a pack from Dollar Tree, and I have 24 clear plastic spoons from Dollar Tree, but white spoons will work for this too. I'm using my favorite clippers to snip all the tops off the spoons, but I am also keeping all those spoon handles to use separately. Using some hot glue, I'm attaching 8 of the spoon tops to the outside top edge of the bowl with the front of the spoon facing inward. As you see me doing right here, I am doing my best to keep all the spoon edges even to make my first row. I attach the second row of spoons in between the spoons on my first row and slightly lower. Also going all the way around and doing my best to keep them as even as possible. Then I attach my third row of 8 spoons placed in between each of the 8 spoons in the second row, almost at the bottom edge of the small bowl. Hopefully that makes sense to you. You can watch what I'm doing or pause and replay the video if necessary. I go all around the entire piece until I have 3 complete rows of 8 spoon tops. Next, I trim all my spoon handles to the same length using my clippers. Using another plastic bowl bottom as a template, I assemble the cut spoon handles going around the circumference of the bowl edge, fanned out into a circle as you see right here. I use a generous amount of hot glue around the connections between the spoon handles to attach them all together. I place additional spoon handles on top of the space between each of those handles in the first row and create a second level of spoon handles, fanned out over the first level, securing it all with hot glue. Then I go over the handles toward the center with lots of hot glue to make sure they are really stuck together securely. And I add a generous amount on top of that to stick my bowl and spoon tops right in the center. I take the whole thing outside and spray paint it with this Rust-Oleum paint and primer in Seaside Gloss, which I will link for you below. Once the spray paint dried, I'm using this Faux Metallic Champagne Shimmer color, which I will link for you below, and I'm painting over all the turquoise with this translucent shimmer color to give it a pearly quality, but with the turquoise color still visible, just adding a little something to the look. I paint the insides of the bowl and the spoons, as well as the outsides of those spoons, and I also paint over all those turquoise spoon handles as well, giving them a nice pearly sheen. Once the champagne shimmer has dried, I grab this Decor Art Metallic Sheen in 24 karat gold, which I'll link for you below. And I don't know if you know this about me, but my absolute favorite color combo in the entire world is turquoise and gold together. Love, love, love that look together. So I'm using a tiny brush and I'm going to start on the spoon handles and just accent the edges and those raised areas of the handles with the gold. Not a lot of gold, just an accent. Then I'm going to move on to the edges of the spoon tops, both the inside edges and the outside edges, just giving them a lovely little splash of gold accent, bringing the whole look up a couple of notches. And this is my turquoise and gold plastic spoon candle holder, and maybe it's just my love of turquoise and gold, but I think this is beautiful. It's elegant and classy, and the fact that we used all the pieces of the 24 plastic spoons and this is what we came up with, well, I'm thrilled. I hope you are too. For this next DIY, if you order a lot of takeout sushi or something, then you won't need to order this massive bag of bamboo chopsticks I got on Amazon, but if not, I'll link them below. So, not a plastic spoon, but it's a disposable eating utensil, so we are still on theme. I have this bag of bamboo chopsticks, and I'm going to be using a total of 38 individual chopsticks, not pairs, for this project. We're going to be doing this in two parts or sides. Each side will use 19 chopsticks. So starting with the first side and 19 chopsticks, I'm going to use some Titebond Quick and Thick wood glue, which I will link for you below, to attach 11 of the chopsticks together, just at the top, not the pointed side at the bottom. There are these little cuts at the top of these particular chopsticks, and I'm using those cuts as my cutoff point for applying the glue because I only want to glue about an inch or so in from the top of the chopstick. So these first 11 chopsticks are attached together at the top, just lying flat as you see here. Then I want to start angling both ends up slightly, so it's going to be curved like a smile. But we are using wood glue, which takes some time to set up. So attaching 4 more chopsticks on each end of the 11 chopsticks in the middle and attaching them on an angle is not a perfect science. You may have to do a little finagling to try and keep these end-angled chopsticks together. I ended up using extra chopsticks, and then I used some small bowls to hold those 4 angled chopsticks on each side in place while the glue had a chance to set up and to let that dry. I let them dry pretty much overnight. Then I created a second side the exact same way with 11 flat chopsticks in the middle and the 4 chopsticks angling upward on both ends, and gave everything ample drying time. Now, because I didn't have a ton of faith in these chopsticks staying attached, I decided to reinforce all of it using these thin wood coffee stir sticks, which I'll link for you below, but you could also use the small craft sticks from Dollar Tree. I placed a stir stick going across the 11 flat chopsticks on the back, and then 2 smaller pieces of the stir sticks on the back of the 2 angled ends of my 19 chopstick piece. Then I decided to do that again on the top of the 19 chopstick piece the same way, with a longer piece across the middle and 2 small side pieces on the angled ends. And I repeated that whole thing with my second piece of 19 chopsticks. So because these coffee stir sticks look really messy, I decided to use some thick jute twine to cover the sticks and hide them. I wrapped the section with the coffee stir sticks with 3 rows of this thick jute twine so that those coffee stir sticks could not be seen anymore. I did that on both of my 19 chopstick pieces. Once both sides were dry, full disclosure, I held my breath as I gently worked to intertwine the 2 unglued sides of this chopstick bowl. I was so afraid the sticks would come apart at the top, and intertwining them was not really easy. It took some time, but in the end, this is my bamboo chopstick bowl, and how cool is this? I've seen similar bowls on Pinterest and for sale, and they looked so cool to make, so I made one. I really like it. I hope you do too. So go hit up all your friends and neighbors for their extra takeout chopsticks, and you too can make one of these. Thanks so much for joining me on this creative journey from Dollar Tree to designer. If you've enjoyed these plastic spoon decor hacks, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more budget-friendly DIYs. Leave a comment below with your favorite hack and any ideas you want to see next. Until next time, remember that together we're making the world a more beautiful place, one DIY at a time.